I actually don't even like being the bearer of some messages and some news from God, man. But, this is my gift. I see with God's heart. It's a prophetic gift. Chosen one, whatever you want to call it. We feel what God feels. That don't mean I'm perfect or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I make mistakes, and I need other children of God and their gifts to keep me in line. You know what I'm saying? But my particular gift is, seeing through God's heart. And God wants you to know this is for somebody. This is for somebody who's a believer, who's a Christian. You have to shift your mindset to the place where you actually care what God thinks and cares about. It can't just be feeling good at church and praising the Lord and shouting and rolling around on the floor and, oh yeah, I'm a Christian when somebody asks you, or you just identify as a Christian and that's the box you check throughout the week, and you glad to be in that number, and that's good. But God has thoughts on each and everything that exists, that you encounter, that you think. He has thoughts on every thought that you think, every move you make, and all he wants is for you to care. But I'm telling you, a lot of believers care more about their own thoughts, their own opinions. It don't mean you can't have your own thoughts and your own opinions. That's the point I'm trying to make. Some people that call themselves, that are believers, I'm not gonna say call themselves believers, that are believers and that are saved, don't actively make the delineation between the two at all times. When you're truly walking by the Spirit, and when you're truly seeking God's presence, you will have to delineate between your thoughts and his thoughts, and the enemy's thoughts too, but that's a whole nother thing. But at all times, not out of fear, not out of terrifying fear, even though the Lord can be terrifying, but I'm talking about love. I'm talking about loving God so much that you consider, Lord, do you like this? Do you want this? And I'm not even talking about, sin and, Lord, should I do this? Should I do? So I'm sorry for doing this. I'm not even talking about on that level. Of course, we need to talk to God about those things when we fall short and all that. I'm just talking about daily life, yo. When you have opinions about other people, when you see somebody, anybody, when you see that person crossing the street, Lord, we should be listening for what God thinks about that person. What does God think about the cashier at the store? And the reason I'm saying what does God think, because if you open yourself up and you open your heart up to hear and see what God thinks and what God's heart is feeling, then he can instruct you. Oh man, that's a spider. Oh man, don't tell me spiders are out. And I don't like spiders, y'all. I'll jump out this car right now. But I'm gonna stay on this line right now, because, listen for God's heart, believer. If you're a believer, you should care what God is feeling. That's what I'm saying. Let me get my food. I just ordered food. You should care what God is feeling. Peace.